We are back in a hot flash. Another great topic here on hand for you that I'm excited to bring about. And hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for tuning in. And I touched on this slightly on the last podcast, but I really wanted to get into this in the sense of just being able to enlighten you before you embark upon something that takes up a lot of your time. And so let's just get right into it. Hard work is great, but it has to be done the right way. Okay? Hard work is great, but it has to be done the right way. And so we have to ask ourselves, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, here's the thing. You have been born to fulfill a purpose. You have been born to fulfill something so great and so wonderful. And for all of you, because you're listening to this podcast, that is as an actor of some sorts, as a teacher, as a performer, that is your purpose. Now, when you understand that, what do you do next? Because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm an actor. Let me go submit. Let me go do this. Let me go to take this workshop. And it's just basically putting your hand in a bag full of gumballs and trying to pull out a single color that has like 35 different colors. You know, it's just chance, leaving it up to chance. Yeah, you're working hard. You're in the vicinity, but you're leaving it up to chance. So what do we need to do? We need to first connect to our inner being. Connect inside first. Connect to our intuition. As an actor, one of your best friends can be your intuition, your divine guidance. And what do I mean by that? I mean, once you connect, you will discover what is the best step that you can take at this moment. And you know what? It may seem absolutely illogical, ridiculous, not making any sense. But when you listen to it, you will benefit much greater than anybody else who isn't listening to their intuition. I'll give you a story here real quick. So I meditate daily. I actually meditate a few times a day. And I'll find, time just to get quiet because, listening to what's going on inside of me becomes the most important part as I shape my reality outside of me. And so, story goes, I was meditating one day. I was in between work. I had just finished doing this movie. I think it's like a romantic comedy or something like that, which was fun. But then I'm like, okay, what's the next step in my journey? As I'm meditating, I'm asking my divine inner being, my higher self, I'm asking this, what is my next step? And so I'm thinking, like anybody else, get back online, start submitting, start connecting, go to a networking event. And it says, I kid you not, start working on your punches and your kicks. I'm like, what? What does that have to do with anything? So I asked again, what's the next step? It says, start working on your punches and your kicks. Well, so I'm always one to listen, no matter how outlandish it can seem sometimes. I go in and I start working. I go to the gym. I start working on refining how to jab, how to cross, how to uppercut, how to do a roundhouse, how to do all these different, martial arts movements. And a few weeks later, a movie came along where I had the pleasure and the luxury of playing the lead, but it was a bunch of huge fight scenes, like exhausting fight scenes. And I can't wait for that movie to come out because I'm excited to show it to you guys. But it was a lot of punching, a lot of kicking, a lot of throwing, a lot of like getting hit. But the truth of the matter was, if I didn't listen to my inner guide, if I didn't listen to my inner being, my higher self, I probably would have been in pretty bad shape and I probably would have got injured if I wasn't ready and training towards what that film was actually bringing my way. And so the lesson is, I could have just went and said, oh, you know what? I'm just going to work hard or whatever. And then, just continue to lift weights, not really do anything martial arts specific. And then all of a sudden I would have gotten that situation and would have been lost. Right. But because I listened to my inner guide, I jumped in and I started throwing like 1 to 200 to 300 punches a day. And same with the kicks, and just really refining it on the heavy bag and really just getting into it and working as hard as I could at that, because that is what I was being led to do at the time. So how does this work for you? Well, get quiet, meditate, ask your inner being, what is my next step? What is the step that I can take that's in my highest good, that's going to move my career forward? And this sets you on a path, as opposed to you hopping off the road and going, play in the sand and the bushes and the embankment. This keeps you on the road, moving towards that destination. And you may get something like practice yoga. You may get something like travel to Joshua Tree, or travel to upstate New York, or travel to the city. It may be something that makes absolutely no sense. But you got to realize your higher being can see everything, present, past, future, everything all at once. So it knows what you need to do, who you need to be in order to move forward, successfully. Because if not, we fail. Okay? And once you get the guidance of what it is that you need to do, you go all in with that step, because guess what? When you accomplish that step, the next thing will reveal itself. Okay. And then it's just one step and one step and one step. And then you look back and you're like, oh my God, look at all the stuff that I've done. I really, really done well, as far as my career goes. And I'm really happy about that. This is freaking awesome. And that's how it happens. That's how people become successes. That's how people become successes in a way to where they can enjoy what they're experiencing and not feel empty when they got the whole world loving them and they got millions of dollars in the bank and they got this car and that house and that boat and that plane and stuff. And they want to kill themselves. I absolutely love Robin Williams to a high degree. And I hope his soul is resting peacefully. But to think that this man was as successful as he was as influential as he was as funny as he was, which was as wealthy as he was, and to think that he was unhappy, I don't want that for anybody, because that's supposed to be the time of your life. And the only way that you can experience it fulfillingly is by evolving, listening to your inner guidance, listening to what it has to say to you, because it's only going to lead you to those experiences that are going to enrich your life. And like on the last episode, if you can get to a place to where you're feeling good, just feel good without anything happening outside of you, that is when you can get to a place where Robin Williams is and then start to enjoy it. One of the greatest stories I've ever heard about this is Jim Carrey, who thankfully was able to right the ship before it got to a point of him trying to commit suicide. But he always says, I wish everybody could experience fame and fortune to know that it's not what's going to make them happy. And I've known this for a long time. So this is why spirituality is like, next to my marriage, top priority in my life, and it has to be the same. I'm not saying you got to go to church or you got to make religion everything, but you have to connect to a part of yourself that is divine, that is just endless, unlimited, and helpful to everything you need, right down to the small detail. There is not anything you can't ask your higher self to help you with. It will always help you, whether you should get regular coffee or decaf. Ask your inner guidance. It will help you. Just listen. And the same goes with your career. And when you get that step, that's when you put in the hard work. That's when you put in the effort. That's when you just decide to go as hard as possible, because then that way, the hard work is moving you forward and not just tiring you out. Guys, It has been a pleasure once again. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend, too, if I don't see you or talk to you. And just remember, inner guidance. Stay with it. Connect. One step at a time is how you will reach your goals. One step at a time is how you will embark upon the journey that will bring you the fulfillment that you were born for. We'll talk soon. Take care.